Hello, friend. How you doing? I hope you're doing well. I'm going to be improvising a story today. I feel like going in without mostly no planning today. And I hope I will be able to relax you. So, the story begins with Simona in her house. She has recently moved in to a different house, or a different house in a different village or place. And here she is. Today, she just wants to explore the new place she has found. It's a village with interesting looking houses on mounds and high ground. All the houses are high up and have pillars that keep them straight. Some of the houses are very square looking, and others are more roundish with curves. A lot of them have red, but mostly they have a lot of different colors. And she's walking around looking for stuff, and she has Goo, her crocheted doll that has come alive, with her, and Fia the fox. Fia says while they're walking, let's look at the compass again to see where it leads us this time. But Simona says, I don't really wanna go on an adventure today. I want it to be more calm. This compass usually, or I'm afraid this compass will take us on an adventure again. I just want to have a little calm exploration. And Fia says, alright, I guess you're the boss. If I find any adventure though, I will be off, with or without you. Simona says, yeah, I know, Fia. And they find an interesting looking building. Of all the buildings, it's on the ground, or it's the only one that's on the ground, whereas all the other ones, they are up on hills or mounds. This one looks very square, doesn't have many features except for some decorations that seems to have been put up after the building has been built. The building itself has no features, but it is decorated with some paintings which you would think would be hanging on the inside of a building, but here it's on the outside, and some odd looking things, some plant life, and some other interesting looking things. There's a doll hanging from it, and there's just dead branches and a lot of dried up plants, some fresh ones. But this building has a sign above it saying The Secret Club, which is not the best way to advertise a secret club, but Simona is a little bit curious, and she walks up to the building, which has the door slightly opened. And Fia walks in immediately. As she does, Simona then follows slowly, looks in through the gap of the door, and there's a person standing on a stage. It's a very tiny person. It looks like the person is blue with pointy ears and a long nose. And there's a lot of other small creatures, both humanoid and animal alike. And mostly they're very tiny, except for one big fella in the corner. He kind of looks like he's made of stone, or they. And then Simona listens to this creature that is standing on the stage, and they are saying, "We are soon about to awake the big destroyer. The big destroyer is sleeping in the mountain, and we are soon finally going to wake him up. We just all need to gather the most valuable sacrifices we can. And I see you have done very well, all of you, gathering all the money from all the people here, and like stealing and tricking people into getting their money here in Tradeshillville. And I am so proud of you all." And they clap, just very shortly and quickly. was good that we managed to trick traders to stay here and make a village here. It's quite foolish of them. But with any further ado, collect all your gems and whatnot in this basket so we can give it to the big bad guy. In the big mountain here in Tradesillville. They will soon awaken, and Simona doesn't want any of that. She walks out and says to herself, "Oh, I better," or she says to Goo, "We better get out. We better get out of here, because it doesn't sound like we're about to end up well if we stay here." Goo, on the other hand, says, "But all these people, all these people here are going to starve, or not starve. All these people here are going to get damaged. At least we should warn them, shouldn't we?" And Simona says, "Well, yeah, I guess if they will listen to us, we can try." And then Fia is out, and she's going somewhere. Simona asks, Where are you going?" And Simona says, "I'm going to investigate this giant destroyer that is in the mountain. We did find a cave entrance to the mountain. Maybe we can get in from there." And Simona says, "Yeah, but it could be dangerous. At least we should prepare." And Fia says, "I don't think we have time to prepare, and we need to scout it out so that we can prepare, so we know what we're preparing for." Fia goes away, and Simona says, she doesn't like it. She starts walking towards the house, but then she stops and thinks a bit. She nervously picks up her true soul compass, a compass that shows her somewhere she's supposed to go. It's a very rare item, and it has a little hand, severed hand, really, really tiny in a compass that shows her where to go. And this compass, when she carefully looks at it, points to where Fia is going. So she really hopes that this compass knows what it's talking about. So she turns around and goes after Fia. They come to the entrance of the mountain, a cave, and they go in. It's very dark. Very, very dark. And Simona says, "We can't really see anything." And Fia says, "Oh, I can still see plenty. I have better dark vision than you. Just hold my tail and follow me." And Simona does, shaking with her hand. And Fia says, Stop Stop the shaking. But Simona can't. It's getting scary. But I guess she's going with it now. For some reason. And they walk further and further in. They actually start seeing torches and light. And Simona picks up a torch. And they look around and they've come into a big open room. A very big dome-like room. It's so huge that every sound of the footsteps and everything echoes very well in here. It's very big and empty. And they walk. And they walk closer and closer. And they start seeing a lot of gold and jewelry on the ground. And then the light reaches a big, dark, very, very dark green, has a slightly green shimmer to it, big blob that is as big as a house. And it looks like this big blob has scales. And Simona looks around, and then she notices from this big blob is a big eye socket, or a big closed eye. And this big blob starts moving slightly. And Simona realizes it's alive. But too late, because Fia has started climbing on it. And that wakes this giant up. And it's not only one blob. Big blob, it's two stacked upon each other, like a big snowman almost. But it's a big green monster that has long, slender arms and not much of feet. But it seems like it has some sort of protrusion at the bottom that can make this big creature move around. And it wakes up and it says, "Roar." This big creature sees Simona and Fia. And reaches the big hand out to get them, or it seems like, and Fia falls over when she tries to jump away, and she just manages to jump away. And she falls over as the creature grabs a big hand of gold and jewelry and puts it in its big mouth. You can see the big mouth can open like a door, like a big door that reaches across the whole of its face, which is a really, really big face. And you see it can open so wide that pretty much the whole head seems to disappear, and just the mouth with sharp pointy teeth is visible. And it just lets the gold and jewelry fall down into its mouth. Then it swallows. And this time now, for real, it looks back at the three adventurers. And now it has its eyes locked on them. One eye is locked on Simona, and one is locked on Fia. And they get closer to each other. Fia helps Simona up. And the big creature says, are you here to steal my gold? I do not like when people do that. I like those other funny creatures that give me gold. And they awoke me from my big nap. But I'm not ready yet. So don't go and tell anyone that I'm here. To make sure, I will have to get rid of you. And Simona starts running as fast as she can from this big scary creature. But there's nowhere to hide. She looks at the compass and she follows it away from the creature a bit to find just the slightest of hiding places. And Fia is there too. And it's behind a big rock. The creature is slowly making its way towards them and can reach out its long hand. And it tries to put its fingers and reach where they are, but they are just out of reach. The big monster can't squeeze its big lumpy hands through the narrow hiding place they've hid behind. This rock is so close to the wall, it can't reach behind it, but it is slowly moving the rock back. Simona sits with Fia, and Simona says, "What are we going to do now?" And Fia says, "Don't worry, I will figure it out." Fia's voice is trembling. You know, I live for this sort of stuff. I'm gonna defeat it with I'm gonna. Can you ask the compass, maybe? And Simona says it just told us to go here. I guess it's pointing somewhere else now, but I don't know if we could get there, because the monster is right here. Simona says I should have stayed at home, should have never gone on these adventures, should have never moved on into a new home. It's too scary. Everything is too scary here, and I don't know anything about this world. Yet, I've trusted it too much. I've trusted strangers too much. I've trusted you, Fia, too much. Fia says, I'm sorry. Goo says, don't keep your hopes up. Don't give up yet. We haven't lost yet. And Simona runs out, looking at the compass. And Fia is very surprised. And she runs after. And the big hand and the big creature, the big monster, doesn't notice immediately. But then it does. And they're running to where the compass is pointing. And it's at the top of a big pile of gold. And there she finds at the top of the gold, or she tries to get to the top of the gold, but it's very slippery with all the pieces just making her slip, and she almost doesn't make it to the top. The creature's big hand grabs her and a pile of gold, but luckily she can slink out because the creature has a better grasp on the gold than her. So she jumps off the hand and onto the top of the gold pile, and there is a big war axe, a double-sided axe with nice green blades and a golden handle. And she grabs it, and she can feel it's so heavy. There's no way she could have lifted this up, but there's no doubt that this is where the compass pointed, and where it's still pointing. She can feel, however, some magic coursing through this weapon, and she can feel the axe get a stronger and stronger connection with her as she holds it. And she starts running away with the axe to hide with it, so that the creature doesn't get her. But the creature grabs Fia, manages to get her, and Fia bites the hand as much as she can, but it doesn't seem to do much damage. And the monster says, "Oh, that itches so badly. Stop that little one." And then it gapes up. Its big mouth opens, and Fia uses her magic wand that she got once from a wizard. She uses it to lift. She can lift a single object with it once a day, and she lifts a big jug of gold, and she throws it at the eye of the big creature. The creature yells out and starts rubbing the eyes, forgetting that she's holding Fia. She just loosens the grasp. The big creature loosens the grasp just enough so Fia can struggle out and escape onto the floor. And they run and gather again. And they drag the big axe to another good hiding spot. There they hide, and Simona can feel the magical weapon becoming a bit lighter. And Simona says, I think I could possibly use this weapon to do maybe some sort of damage to it. It seems to be magical in some way. That's amazing. You could do it. Both of them are filled with adrenaline and ready for any chance of escape from this monster. Goo says, you can absolutely do it, but maybe make sure you're safe. I don't know how we can get close enough with that weapon. And Simona says, well, if we split up, we might be able to confuse the monster. And so if you go that way, Fia, and I go this way, we can maybe confuse them, and then if the monster is you know what, if you go first, the big monster will be looking at you, Fia, and then I can try to sneak up on the back and maybe climb up. No, it would be way too hard to climb up on it, I think. I don't know how much damage I could do unless I hit it in the eye or something. Fia says, well, we gotta try, because the monster will start moving the stone again, and it has started to move away the cover there behind. No more time to think, I'm just gonna go. And Fia runs as fast as she can. And the monster sees this and starts changing the course of its actions, ignoring Simona for the moment. And the magical weapon feels more and more powerful. She runs with it. She runs to the back of the big monster. And there, she can feel. It's like the weapon is telling her to stand on it, as if it was a pogo stick with the blades and downwards. And she runs up from behind the monster and she stands on the axe and uses it as a pogo stick, and it flies up with magic and then swooshes down right into the head of the monster. And there, it yells out with pain as it splits up its head a bit, and then she stands on top of the monster and swings the axe more and more. She has never held a weapon before, but she's trying to do as much damage as possible to it. And now the monster falls down to the ground and cries in pain and holds his face and trying to rub gold on its scars. Fia, who got caught by the monster, now falls to the ground. Simona gets gently put down because she can use the magic of this axe to slow her fall. But Fia lands with a hard hit on the ground and seems to be unconscious. Simona gets scared and tries to pick her up and bring her with her. She does so, and there is a bit of a... Now that the monster is down, they have time to climb up from this, up to where they came from, and try to exit this place. And she carries Fia back. And they come back to the city or to the village looking for anyone that could possibly help. And they see a person and they ask where they could find someone who could help. And there is a medical shop, and the shopkeeper can also help with the healing. And they go there, and luckily it seems like Fia is going to be fine. But she needs rest. Simona is just looking at the weapon, very curious. She gets told by the healer person, the healer shopkeeper, that is named Silly. She's an old girl, an old woman that seems to have very dark clothes and hair that looks like a dark flame. Very not too tall, pretty short. And she heals. She tends to Fia as Simona sits by her side, and it seems like everything's gonna be alright. And the healer, Silly, says that she could get a what's it called? A place to harness, a thing to harness the axe to the body. Simona thinks about it, says, I don't really know if I will keep it. I'm not really a warrior or an adventurer. But Silly just smiles and says, oh, I've seen it before. and people like you. You, with a glint in the eye of adventure. Even though you're a little scared, you're also brave and kind. And Simona and Goo sits in the shop and buys some supplies because it could be needed. But they just sit. Simona is holding the axe that is shining with magic. And they can now just relax. Like you. You can relax. That is the end of that little chapter of Simona's adventures. I hope it relaxed you, and it was fun to make this video. And I will be making more next week. But now you should either maybe go back to the day or go to sleep. Or maybe if you're not tired yet, watch more ASMR videos. I hope you're well. Hopefully I will see you another time. Bye bye. Good night or goodbye. See ya.